Hi guys.
Hi everyone. So welcome back to Millennial Conversations. Before we get into this week's episode, we really had a lot of engagement. I mean, we asked you guys to engage us in the comments, and
you engaged.
Engage us, you did.
Yes,
you know,
from
so
the previous episode.
Exactly. Which, by the way, we got a lot of feedback, and that's amazing. Thank you guys so much for watching and for your comments. And I think we just wanted to pull out some of the comments that we saw.
Yeah.
So the first one that I think we want to highlight is this was by Afro Girl Diaries. This has been one of our biggest fans.
I know. Woo! A shout out.
And she said, only women are allowed to have opposite sex friendships. Women, no boundaries. Men, on the other hand, hell nah. There is also a risk of emotional cheating. It just won't work. What do you think?
I don't agree with that statement 100.
Why?
I think men can draw healthy boundaries too. Like, I think we need to give them a chance.
Yeah.
I don't think we should make a generalization based on the masses we've encountered.
The experiences
we've encountered. Now to say that, like, definitely there's no guy who can draw a boundary.
Yeah.
But I also agree that most times women are the ones who...
Yeah. And I also think where she's coming from, it's from a place of, women, we're the ones who are known to be more emotionally intelligent. So, I mean, I would be in a position to pick up more, like when my male friend is, than a guy.
Very intuitive.
Yeah, and intuitive. So maybe that's where she's coming from. Okay, I sort of agree with it.
Yeah.
Okay, the other comment was, it only gets worse. This is by Koi. It only gets worse as you grow older, as correctly said Salma. In marriage, very tricky to keep an opposite sex best friend. In fact, those friends put us in a tricky position to choose, which is very difficult. I mean, we are both not married, but I agree. This is what I was saying. I feel like in as much as I'm not married, I feel like the older I'm getting, I mean, in my relationships, I would not... It's very difficult to have or to justify a best friend.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I could imagine, like, even in a marriage, it would be far worse.
I mean, I understand where she's coming from when she says it's difficult. I just don't think it's like it's impossible.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I just don't think it's impossible.
But then you should have drawn those boundaries before the marriage.
Yeah, completely.
Sure.
Like, I agree that boundaries have to be there, but I do understand that it's difficult, and of course it's more likely than not that you might get into a risky situation.
Yeah,
but it's also not something that can't be done or can't be explored.
Yeah, that's true. But importantly is that everybody should be on the same page.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then finally, actually, there was a guy who commented and said, Maneno ya bestie, this is Victor. Maneno ya bestie is definitely a no.
No.
That was interesting coming from a guy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we were very thrilled to hear that. And one of my good friends, Ivy, she actually agreed with me and said, I agree with Salma on the best friend issue. I am the best friend. I got so much heat about that statement. You see, that's the thing.
So what is the issue here?
Issue?
What if you get to know this woman who's your friend's who's your person's best friend, and you get along, and then you trust the person, in fact, there's no shida here?
That's the ideal. Like, if we can be friends, that will be the ideal.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But if we are friends, let it not be twisted. We are not two girlfriends in this relationship. I am the girlfriend and you are the friend. You get what I'm saying? Like, but do you see, I was speaking for many people.
No, you really were. I remember where you said, let's not get it twisted. I am the girlfriend, you are the friend. Something interesting, we did a poll on our Instagram before we released that episode, and we're asking guys, like, who do you think between us encourages opposite sex friendships? And it was so interesting because when people were voting, a lot of people were voting for Salma.
That I would be encouraging.
That she would be, But that was just one vote that tilted it my way. But the whole time, like, people are just saying it's Salma. So I was just like, how?
They don't know
guys,
me.
How?
That was a fun experience.
It really
right?
was, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that's it. We can get into our video.
today we are talking about the things that we don't tolerate anymore. Of course, we are still growing. We're just young adults. But of course, there are things like we've seen in our experiences in life and where we are now as like young adults who are, are progressing with our lives. There are certain things we just don't tolerate, and we thought to share that. What we've done is that Salma has written her list and I've written my list, and we'll just go over it together. We don't know what it is. But it cuts across a number of areas.
And also maybe just to give the context that this is also because we feel like we are becoming older and wiser. Compared to where we were a few years ago.
Like you've matured now. So there are things now you know. And you're like, I just don't tolerate this.
Precisely. Okay, so I start.
Yes.
The first one is, I no longer tolerate people having unfettered access to my time. I don't at all. Like, I feel like when I was younger, I used to feel like, when somebody is reaching out to me, I needed to be there. I needed to be available for them. If you're calling me, I needed to pick up. Like, if you're texting me, I needed to respond then and
immediately.
But now, the older I'm getting, I feel like I need to create also a safe space for me. Am I even able to handle or to like have a conversation with you at this point, or am I busy, or can this whatever it is you want us to discuss, can it wait? So I feel like I'm learning how to draw those boundaries, because I feel also at some point you do get overwhelmed. You do get overwhelmed, and not even overwhelmed in a bad way. Sometimes it's just, I feel like I used to get distracted. I used to be so, my attention span became so,
because you're also like I'm just trying to like
so many things at the same time. But now I feel like, no, if I've set time to do this, let me finish doing this before I can start doing something else.
I feel like that's such a positive thing, because I also think I do the same thing now, which is something I didn't do before, but that also came because of work. I think when you start like having a very busy schedule, you know, like in uni, I mean, we used to have one class a day, then you spend time in the student center just chatting, so you're sort of like in it with your friends, like your life is your friends. But then now, like when you get into the working world and the adulting world, you have so many responsibilities, and you don't now have the time. Like you can get a text from someone, but you don't even have the time to start texting the way we used to text at
stories and essays.
I'm in the mall and I'm doing this and oh come on, you don't have that time. I really get it on that level, especially for me now, because I'm a morning person. I'm very selfish with my mornings, and I don't like being distracted in the morning, so I get that, like and I think it is a positive thing.
And also maybe it's because of the fact that when we started working, I was working and I was in school at the same time. So at that time I needed to really be strict about my time, because I needed to know this is when I finish work, this is when I start my school work. So it sort of like created a discipline in me, and I didn't have time to like just give to everybody and every Tom, Dick and Harry the way they wanted to access my time. So it really
and
changed some dimensions.
I think that's really important, because there's someone who was telling me that people take you the way like what you give them. So nobody will ever be like, oh Salma, I think you're giving me too much of your time. Let me let you. No. People will always take what you give them, and it's true. You shouldn't let everybody have access to you. Like that can actually disrupt you more. And you should protect your energy from that, which actually was even bringing me to now what I don't tolerate. So the first thing that I don't tolerate is projecting. That's the word. So let me explain, it's a thing I also used to do. So you know how, like, let's say I'm meeting Salma to shoot, and then I call you that day and suddenly you're just in a bad mood, right? Me, I'm happy.
This happens. I don't know if you're using that example because, but let's see where this is going. No, carry on.
I'm just saying, like, you're meeting someone and then like maybe you're just in a bad mood, but it has nothing to do with me. But then suddenly, like, you're making it about me. You get what I mean? Like, you're making it about, why aren't you supposed to be here a minute ago? Now it's 10:02. Like, why aren't you get what I mean? And then like me, I'm just like, girl,
this was not
what's going on with you? And that's what I mean by now projecting. And I mean it like even in friendships, in relationships, just in day-to-day things. Like a lot of the times you could be going through something, and especially the people who are close to you, it's easy to project that. Like it's easy to make them the problem, And it's actually a thing I also realize, like, sometimes that I do. Like, it's not you I'm upset at. I would say it's the thing I don't think we should tolerate, because I'm still working on it, and I don't think it should be tolerated.
Yeah.
Because what projecting does is that, first of all, you don't deal with the issue at hand, and then you're always now spewing.
Yeah, you're distributing that bad energy to the next
negative
person.
energy to people. And now what I try to find a way to single that out, especially in the relationships that I'm in, because sometimes that can be toxic.
Yeah.
Like when a person is always projecting on you, because then it leads to that thing for gaslighting. Like they always make you think that you're the problem. Yeah. That's what I mean by projecting.
But I mean, for us, I think I have come to learn when Maria is projecting, and I also think you have come to learn when I'm projecting. Because sometimes it's just like, I'm like, this girl, whatever she's dealing with right now, it's okay. Like,
no, but I think and that's a good thing, because like, it also comes, I guess, with time, because we've been friends for so long. But I also think just because now someone is graceful enough to give you that time doesn't also mean that you shouldn't check yourself and now try to not project. Sometimes also you do it unconsciously.
And not everybody will be as graceful.
Exactly. Not everyone will be as graceful.
Okay. My next one is what I do not tolerate anymore is lukewarm relationships.
Ooh.
And this is not just romantic relationships. I mean even friendships.
Okay.
Like, I want to know where we stand. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a big fan of labels, if you've realized. I will not be out there in the streets calling you my best friend, my boyfriend, my girlfriend. I will not be doing that. I'm not a big fan of labels, but I want to be certain what is going on here. Like in a relationship, I really do take that question seriously of what are we? Because we need to define what this thing is. I don't want to waste my time. Are we enjoying each other's time? Are we dating exclusively? Are we, like, what are we doing? Like, let me just be clear in my mind, right? When it comes to friendships, the same thing. And don't get me wrong, I don't mean like, you know how you can be friends with someone and then you lose touch, or like right now during the pandemic, people are dealing with so many things. Then you haven't talked to somebody for so many months, and then you know that people who are like, oh, if you didn't reach out to me during this time, I know you're not a true friend. I don't know.
They post those memes.
And then they post memes.
No, you're real friends.
Exactly.
You're real friends.
Not like that, because I feel like I actually have many good friends who I don't talk to on the regular, but like when we really catch up, you know, like I get to know what you've been doing the last few months, they get to know what I was doing. So I don't mean it like that. That is not a lukewarm friendship for me. What I mean is like, when are we friends? Are we not? Like, what are we doing? Yeah, I don't tolerate that anymore. I think it takes a lot of energy to maintain social, you know, relationships now. So I'd rather be with the people who want to be friends with me, and I don't have the time to start trying to, like, you know, make myself likable or you know, make myself nice to you so that you can be my friend, like, you know, when we were younger. Now it's just, are we or are we not? Yeah,
it's so funny, because I also had such a point, although, because now you've explained it, I'm like, that was what I was gonna say. For me, mine, or what I can add to that is, you know, like, also those situations where people don't necessarily treat you how maybe you'd expect to be treated. And then I remember, like, me when I was younger, I didn't want to be that person to now start telling you, like, oh, Salma, why aren't you responding? Why aren't you doing these things? You know, but now I'm like, listen, this is who I am as a person.
Yeah.
This is how, like, I roll, you know. Like, I like people who communicate, like, you know, like, let me know, like, what's going on with you.
Yeah.
And there's something I really like. I was actually watching it on Afro Girl Diaries. She's done an Insta on this, and also the TMI podcast. And they were saying something about how we are not mind readers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Nobody
are not mind
is.
readers.
Yeah.
And I really hear you when you say lukewarm relationship. I would rather I know you. And I always tell Salma that, like, I know, I even look at a situation, I'm like, I pity this person, because when Salma reacts, like, I know.
You pity them.
Yeah.
Like,
because I know this person, what you're doing, I know how this girl is gonna react. Like,
No, but that's the thing.
Like, you know someone.
Yeah.
And then, like, maybe for me, you know, I'm a lover, I'm emo, you know, I like doing bubbly, happy things for people. So, like, you know, like, Maria wears her heart on her sleeve, you know. I like that. I don't know why when I was younger, I felt scared to embrace that. Like, I felt like if people really see, like, this is where I stand and this is, you know how, like, Psalms for you, like, you would say, like, I don't tolerate opposite sex friendships, period. Like, I don't care what you think about it, you know.
Yeah.
Like, if you're dating me, cool. I don't tolerate it. But you see, most people, especially with like the real issues, you want to please people, sort of. I think that's what I'm getting at. Yeah. And that's what I don't now tolerate now. And I don't, when I meet people who don't necessarily have a stand, I don't think you're a bad person. I just think, for me, I don't understand your character. Like, you can shock me any day, anytime. You can just, you know.
Yeah, I get that completely. But at the same time, I would treat those people like that. You know,
I give you lukewarm.
Yeah,
you give me lukewarm, I give you
like
lukewarm.
That. Yeah, that's not where I'm at. Like, I've gotten to the place where I no longer have energy to try and react over you or over your character or to call you out. It's just, what are we doing? We are adults. We can talk about these things. If you if you want to be like that, I'll treat you like that. That's where I'm no longer tolerating it.
The next thing I don't tolerate, which I know we don't tolerate, is dishonesty.
Okay.
Or disloyalty.
That has been a constant. It's not even no longer. It's just
it's not no longer.
It's a constant.
And I think for me, why that is something I don't tolerate is because I am I strive to be a genuinely honest person, and I get very triggered when people don't tell me the truth or people like lie to me and I find out, especially like we said in the video we did on pet peeves, white lies. Because me, I feel like unanibeba kama sina akili.
That's how you've seen me.
You know, like you're trying to beba me. Like I won't know what you're trying to do. But of course, also there's also the version of like not being loyal to people. And this is another thing. Also, I think people like to skirt around. You know, where the waters become murky is where, let's say you're friends with Salma and there's a third party, and the third party and Salma are not getting along. So the third party is coming to Maria and saying things. The third party, you know, that's dynamic. I now do not tolerate people who try to like be the middlemen or try to feed information on both sides. Like, I think that you should be able to be mature enough to let people handle their issues by themselves. And if you're trying to be loyal to people, like, know your boundaries. Like, draw the boundaries, you know, but don't mix things. It gets weird. That's what I
think what I'd say about that is, by the way, I'm no longer phased. Like, I'm no longer phased. For me, by the way, I feel nothing. I feel like, guys, I'm getting tired in life. Like, I have just so many things to think about. Like, sometimes I even worry for myself because I'm like, I'm in my 20s. I should be going crazy over things. I should be, you know, frolicking with girlfriends somewhere. But I'm so tired when I have to think about all the responsibilities I have, or even when I'm thinking about how I need to schedule my rest because I've been dealing with responsibilities all week.
Like, you need to find time for you.
Yeah, I need to just switch off. And if you're coming to lie to me, just do your thing. I don't care anymore. You want to lie? Lie. Like,
you have to betray me. Betray.
That's how you've seen me. Fine. As in, I've reached that point where I no longer, because I used to have the energy to call you out. I'll come with receipts. I'm like, on this day at this time you said 1, 2, 3. You think I'm a fool? I know everything. Now I'm just like, okay, sawa. That's where I'm at.
Yeah. No, I totally hear you.
For me, my next one is unplanned spending. I no longer tolerate unplanned spending. And maybe it's that growing up and having responsibilities and actually having to, like, you know, be wise with your money. But sometimes I have to admit, you fall into the traps. But that's something I really, really try as much as possible not to do. I want to be able to plan my finances as much as possible. I want it to be within my control. I don't want to feel, and I've said this before in a video where I've said that I don't want to look 10 years from now and be like, gosh,
what are you doing?
What was I doing with my money? You know,
being broke is not nice. But that one I fully agree with you. Unplanned spending is also something I try my best not to tolerate anymore. And I have Salma there, who's, you know, like this guard dog who's just like, are you really gonna spend that money? So that's something I don't tolerate.
Then on top of that, I don't tolerate people who make you spend unplanned. Do you understand? I don't tolerate people who make you spend money when you've not planned
Good one. And by the way, good one. In fact, those are people who they force you to go somewhere. You've already told them that like this was not in my budget.
Exactly.
And then when you go there, when you not a step further, when they graduate, they order booze, then they make you pay.
That situation has ever happened to me.
They start going. They tell you the wallet is in the car.
Let me tell you something, Maria. Hands will fly. As in, you do that to me, by the way, I can't.
Yeah, you know that people.
Yeah, I've had stories of where people do that. Yeah, they call you out and then they leave you with a bill.
There's also this thing people do. Okay, me, I really find it to be a very bad habit where you're telling someone about a thing where people have to contribute a lot of money. Maybe to you, you don't think it's money, but people actually have to plan. But you're telling someone like maybe a week before, that I need you to contribute X amount of money. Then now, like me or someone is telling you, I don't have the cash for this. Now you're making me like so guilt tripping. Now it's like, like how can you miss this? But I'm like, listen,
I have
our finances are different.
Yeah, and also maybe it's not even that you don't have the money, but it could be I've planned other things.
Yes.
And this one just can't fit in.
But it's also just that respect of why are you telling me about this thing like a week maybe before, like short notice, because I usually feel like sometimes when I see someone doing something short notice, honestly the message it sends to me is that you didn't have the time to think of me as important to let me know.
But some people are just like that, Maria. Some people are not planners.
Okay, I'm not even talking about like being a planner, by the way. I'm not talking about like impromptu-ness or that spontaneity. Spontaneity. I'm talking about, okay, Salma, if you're planning big things in your life, like a birthday, you were born every year. No, it's not like you get a shocker. Yeah, you were born every year. So you cannot be honestly there at a week to your birthday. You're telling me, girlfriend, I want us to in what country? Or I want us in Mombasa, Lamu. And then ata ikue ata hapa Limuru. Ama umechora list, then you have some your matron best friend over there who's now sharing things. Umenyeka WhatsApp group. Alafu kila mtu anatoa
WhatsApp group.
Kila mtu anatoa pesa. Then they write a list contributions. No.
People need to stop feeling entitled about other people.
Yeah, and I'm like, don't that mean those groups? I've seen those things happen to me so many times, and that's what I mean. I'm not talking about the way you can have an impromptu plan, like we say, let's go somewhere. I'm talking about the big things that if you're getting married, come on, even the most unplanned bride knows
that
this is the date. You can't be telling me you're getting married 2 weeks before. Alafu kwa hapo unaniambia ati this is now the budget. Alafu umenyeka kwa group
to contribute.
Yeah, the way uko kwa group, by the way, you'll always find
there's a chair
not in the group. But they have this squad that's there, And I just think why I'm saying it's unfair is because like finances are different, and to some people spending that amount of money on a whim is nothing. And maybe that's their lifestyle. Maybe they're used to
that. And that's okay.
And that's okay. That's okay. I'm just saying, for me, I need to know. And that's what I'm saying. I don't think there's an excuse for it, because when it comes to big things, you can't tell me that you just stumbled upon it.
Yeah, that's true.
Was it my turn?
Yeah.
I think I've done. Oh, yeah. So I had one more that I didn't even write down. It came to me as we were chatting. It's actually a personal one that I've really come to learn this year. And I think it's something now like I'm working towards. Something that I don't tolerate is feeling bad about prioritizing myself and my well-being. And what I'm saying, it's such a part. It's been a journey for me to actually like get to that point, to be kind to yourself, to extend yourself grace, because I feel like the moment you start being kind to yourself, the moment you start loving yourself differently, all these things are also things that you just don't tolerate. It's such a beautiful thing I've actually come to learn this year. And of course, with the aid of my friends, who've been telling me, like, Maria, you really need to be kind to yourself. You really need to pace yourself. You really need to, show yourself grace. So now that's what I don't tolerate anymore, feeling bad about prioritizing myself. So if I feel like how Salma is saying, if I see a message from someone and I just don't have the energy to respond to you, or you're giving me negative energy, out. If I'm in a situation, if I'm in a situation and you're projecting on me, out. If if I know, you know those people who even when they call you, already you feel like you're flustered. Out. Like I just out. And the thing I also do, blocking. You're not above blocking. Out. Nobody is above blocking. Out. I used to think that people in my life were above blocking. And you know the thing actually with blocking, I actually learned that, okay, aside from there, you can block a person because there are also weird people on the internet. Sometimes when you block a person, because I know there's a lot of debate about this and how people say like it's immature and you shouldn't like block people and all these things. But I've honestly come to learn that sometimes for your own good and your own protection. And that's what I mean. And you shouldn't feel bad about that. You need to step out from it for a while maybe and just focus on you and be zen in your world. And you don't want to now have to keep seeing maybe a person on your social media or popping up or on your phone or texting you. Like you're trying to maybe just, you know, remove yourself from a certain situation. And now I get that. I never actually used to understand it. And I'm not saying the person, I'm saying a situation can become toxic. And for you to show yourself self-love and for you to care for yourself, you need to remove yourself from that situation. And I feel like sometimes, especially when you're out of a situation, you actually start looking at it like from a bird's eye point of view.
Like it's like you've detached yourself a bit so you can think a bit more clearly.
And you even start seeing, okay, here is where I went wrong, but here is also where you went wrong. And this is also what I won't tolerate. And that's even when you're like, I think you and I shouldn't be, you know, I think we should just coexist in the world, you know, like that kind of thing. I also don't tolerate feeling bad about how I choose to heal myself over anything I've gone through. Like my mantra, out.
Nobody is above me.
Out. Out. Like if you're coming to me, out. Because this is what I'm doing and I choose not to apologize for what I'm doing. And for me, it's a very beautiful thing I've learned.
And really just the way you've said, I know there's been a big debate. Some people say, oh, it's immature how you'd block people. Especially I've seen this on Twitter where you find like people post screenshots of like a profile that has blocked them and they don't even know each other. Like they've never interacted. But actually the reason why people do that is because they already see the things that you post. So you're posting maybe things that are triggering or things that are just negative energy. So they want to curate their own, you know, little corner of the internet in a way that, you know, gives them peace when they log in. So if you're being don't catch feelings. It's not about you. Sometimes it's just the person just doesn't want to see you and your content. I like how you've put it because I was also thinking of, you know, a way myself of, you know, what don't I tolerate anymore in terms of protecting my peace, and I've touched a bit on that. But it's just the same thing. Like we need to be kinder to ourselves. If we're going through a whole damn Panasonic thing that we're in a whole goddamn pandemic, so we need to be a bit kinder to ourselves. And if something is triggering, you are the only one who can create your own peace, honestly, and you can't do that with a lot of noise.
By the way, it's very true.
And now you see we are all on social media. I mean, if I look this way, I see some fool. I look this other way, I see some, you know, uninformed, ignorant person. I look like everybody again has opinions. Anybody with a smartphone has opinions. Anybody will want to tell you whatever they think you should be doing. It's just a lot.
Also sometimes, like if you're on the other side, like understand that when a person also takes time for themselves, they are actually doing it for the best of everyone sometimes. You get
around
like
them.
Like it can't always be that you're in my space really. Like sometimes if maybe like someone will tell me she has this term, she says I don't feel like people
I don't feel like peopling
or something. So like I'll be texting her and okay, well we text like, you know, real time and she'll always respond. So I'll be like, oh, she didn't respond like, you know, yesterday. So I'll be like, are you good? Or like I tried to FaceTime you last night, like you didn't pick. And she'll be like, yeah, I didn't feel like peopling. And it's not like now I'll be like, how dare you not FaceTime me? Or I don't even need to ask her if she doesn't want to tell me why she does. By the way, you don't need to give people reasons.
Exactly.
That's really another thing I don't. I've actually come to my mind. That's another thing I don't tolerate. So even if it's those things where you feel like you want to step in, or maybe your friend is going through something and you feel that this is something we need to step in, those things also on their own come to light and you'll also know where to step in. But it's just that respecting like someone's like time to just be by themselves. And sometimes it doesn't even mean someone is going through something, it just means they need a day or an hour.
Like me, I tell Maria I take mental health days and like please don't disturb me. And I'll tell you that for real. Like if I'm not in the mood to talk to you, I will not talk to you. And it's not like there's any beef going on. It's just
it's just I don't feel like talking to you. There's nothing wrong with you. And that's the thing, also projecting. Now you don't also make it about you.
Exactly.
Talk to you tomorrow.
Growing up is so enlightening.
It really is. Do you have another one?
Yeah, I think now we went so deep. Let me finish with the light one.
I have one more that I think is deep, but okay.
Carry on. I want to finish on the light note. Yeah.
Okay. So another thing that I've also learned again not to tolerate is when it comes to the pressures of today's world, and as you said, even the pandemic and the young adults and millennials especially, that pressure to sort of like be superwoman and make it. So like for me, I've always been someone who I don't like dropping the ball on things. Even with millennial conversations, like I would rather come here coughing and crawling on the ground than to cancel, you get. And every time like I feel like I'm canceling something, or I feel like I'm not in the space to like do something, you know, I would always feel bad. Like I would always beat myself up about it. And now that's something like I'm trying not to tolerate anymore. Just in that realm of kindness to yourself. Like you're everywhere and you're trying to please out, you know, you have your bosses, you have your family, you have your friends, and everyone you're trying to. So you're like, oh, this weekend I have this baby shower, then I have to work, I have to draft this report, I have to do this thing. And you're always just, you know, and now I'm learning to just prioritize. To just be like, it's not that important. Some things can burn and continue burning. It's okay.
It's okay, by the way.
It's okay.
Yeah. And the world will not end.
It won't end. If like it's a day we're supposed to even shoot and I text Salms and I'm like, sorry babes, like today is just not the day. I'm not up for it. I don't want to get up. I don't want to look pretty. I don't want to be on YouTube.
Yeah. The world is not over.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Okay, so I can finish on a light note. Another thing I don't tolerate. Already I've said, don't text me and expect me to respond on time. But now, in addition, okay, you text me. But you're those annoying texters who cannot spell English. I have a problem. No, Maria. Kwanza, it's not even English, especially like in Kiswahili. There is a Kanu slang. I don't even know whether it came with us, the millennials, or it's the Gen Zs. I don't know. But there's a way certain people text. They remove vowels. You're trying to save some time in not spelling out the words. What are you doing with that time? That 1 second. It's past. Have you done anything?
I feel like for me, if I was to receive such a message, my issue is the energy. It would take me to figure out what you're saying.
Yes.
That would piss me off.
It's very annoying.
That would piss me off.
And if your Q is not followed by a U, you're using it wrong. Stop using that Q thing that people use in text, please. You're using it wrong.
I haven't seen that.
Oh my God, even on social media.
No, I haven't
It's
seen
there.
that.
I'm telling you, Kenyans.
So instead of saying qua, you're saying Q.
Yes,
W.
some people use Q. It's a mess. I'll send you a
strange.
screenshot. It's a mess. That thing is very annoying. And I've seen it, by the way, with my younger, I don't want to put them on YouTube, but let me say a younger generation. Please, you're not saving any time and you're not saving us any trouble. Just
But it
text.
could be like a swag.
That's what I'm saying. It's a wrong swag.
Maybe for them, when we text them in like full English, it takes energy from them to understand.
And that's what I'm asking you. That 1 second you're saving, it has passed now. What have you done of use? Nothing. Nothing. You've done nothing.
Well,
yeah, that's very annoying to me. But yeah, that's all. I can't think of anything else right now.
Yeah, I actually can't think of anything I don't tolerate. I also think it's something as we grow older, we learn more things we don't tolerate.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Share in the comments if you share the same sentiments about what we've shared, about the things we don't tolerate. If you have other things, by the way, you don't tolerate, we'd love to hear, because of course we couldn't cover everything. There are many things different people don't tolerate. And yeah, subscribe and catch us in the next episode.
Yeah, see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.
Bye.